What did we just watch, guys? What a game! The Jets did the thing. They won a game in September against a playoff team in the Cleveland Browns. Let's talk about it. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Tigo, and this is Talking Jets with Tigo, where we're going to talk about the New York Jets winning a football game in September. Not just winning a football game, but coming back from 13 points behind with a minute and 55 seconds left in the clock and doing that and winning the game. Let's talk about it. Let me start the video off by saying sorry to Brant Boyer. I yelled at Brant Boyer for what felt like 30 minutes. I think the video is actually 6 minutes long, but it felt like 30 minutes because it just seemed like, again, after the Baltimore Ravens game, that the decisions that Brant Boyer was making were just adamantly against what the Jets needed. Taking up roster spots with players that don't deserve those roster spots instead of training and teaching the elite athletes that we have and the elite players that we have on this team to play those special teams positions. And what ultimately, to be fair, is the least important of the positions or of the units. That being said, the special teams unit, absolutely the MVP of this game. Greg Zuerlein coming back with a great redemption, 100% today, and a 57-yard bomb. Braden Mann punting absolutely beautifully with 50-yard average punts, a fourth down conversion throw, and that onside kick. And we got to talk about Justin Hardy now. I was adamantly against Justin Hardy being on this team. I didn't understand why he was on this team. I didn't see the value that he brought that you couldn't teach another guy on this team to provide. And boy, was I wrong. And it feels good to be able to say that I was wrong. Justin Hardy, absolutely spectacular scenes. Getting the onside kick recovery, giving this offense the ability to come back. And let's talk about this offense. What an improved performance by this offensive line. Being able to create some push in the run game. Even though we didn't get a lot of rushing yards, we were just shy of 100 at 93 rushing yards. You could see that they were creating enough holes and enough gaps for this team to go. Breece Hall with 7 carries for 50 yards. Michael Carter with 7 carries for 23 yards. Just we were effective in the run game, with our 20 rushes that we had, and we were able to move the ball forward in the run game. But let's talk about Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco, 44 pass attempts for 307 yards and 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, with 2 sacks and a fumble. A lot of this game was stacked up against us, facing that defense in Cleveland with Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney, them knowing that Max Mitchell was out there. And let's talk about Max Mitchell in a second and trying to take advantage of him. And they've got good corners out in Cleveland, and they've got a good linebacker room. JOK is one of my favorite linebackers in this league. It is sad to see him on Cleveland because I really wanted him when he was coming out of the draft. But this offense able to perform. And let's talk about the man of the hour, rookie Garrett Wilson. 8 catches, 102 yards, and 2 touchdowns. You love to see that he was involved in the game early and that he was dynamic. And this is another thing that I'm going to eat crow. I wanted Drake London, the wide receiver out of USC this draft, so badly. And after seeing Drake London in Atlanta, and he's doing great, don't get me wrong, but after seeing him in Atlanta and then seeing Garrett Wilson and what Garrett Wilson is, I was so wrong. Garrett Wilson is by far and away wide receiver 1 in this year's draft, and it's not close. He's going to, and Buffalo, this is a Buffalo Jet fan quote, so I'm quoting him here. He is going to, every single game, make a play where you just stop, look around, and go, how? He's got excellent body control in the air, hops, and everything like that. And you can see that the kid's got drive and fight. After going up into the air, landing on his back, immediately grabbing his back, but pushing that aside, pushing through the pain, coming back onto the field and winning the game, getting the game-winning touchdown for the New York Jets. You love to see it. A lot of people involved in the receiving game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different receivers, 6 different rushers. So we're really, really moving the ball around, getting into the hands of different people, really taking advantage of the absolute chaos that is the New York Jets. Absolute chaos. And let's talk about this defense, where now I think we have to talk a little bit about the bad that we saw here. Letting Cleveland put up 30 points on you is never going to be a good thing. That is a absolute blunder by the defense. You can't see that. You can't let that happen. You can't do it, right? And it's hard to stop some of these guys and to stop some of these rushers and to stop some of these pass catchers. But I like what I saw from the team in the pass defense, because we only let them get 229 yards. But that being said, they rushed for almost 200 yards on us. So that's 400 combined total yards, split pretty evenly between the rushing game and the passing game. And you got to be better. We saw that what this team can do to stop the run against Baltimore. Now, to give this team a little bit of a scapegoat, Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt are possibly the best 1-2 punch in the running in as far as running backs go in the NFL. And in the post-game show with Buffalo Jets Chaos, and Adam Watuke, Wicker Chair Media, one of the things that they kept talking about was missed tackles. But to give them kind of a defense, I was like, well, they're elite running backs. Nick Chubb is a starting running back on 26 teams in the NFL, and Kareem Hunt is a starting running back on 25 of them. They're elite running backs. They're an elite tandem. And what do elite running backs do? They don't go down easily. It's one of the things that we hope to see out of Bryce Hall. Bryce Hall did a great move where he gets into that mountain of meat of men in the middle and somehow escapes from that and takes the ball for 23 yards. That's why you get these guys. That's why you sign them. That's why you bring them onto your team, is because they're elite. It's because they're hard to bring down. That being said, our defense does need to do a better job of wrapping up. I feel like some of our linebackers and safeties are just kind of throwing a shoulder into a guy. And when you're talking about guys who have such powerful lower halves like Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, that's not going to be enough to bring those guys down. So definitely need to get better at wrapping up. Also, in coverage, it almost seemed like we played a little soft today in coverage. And I don't mean that in a way like we weren't hitting hard or we weren't flying fast. I mean that in the sense of it felt like we gave them a lot of space underneath. We were really trying to avoid any explosive plays, and we, to an extent, kind of did that. But it was almost like we just made their lives really easy to take the dink and dunk route and let Jacoby Brissett kind of just toss 5-yard ball here, 6-yard ball here, 5-yard ball here, 3, and giving their playmakers the ability to do things to our team and kind of embarrass them and force missed tackles and all of that stuff. I feel like we've got such good corners in DJ Reed and in Sauce Gardner that we should be able to really, press up on these wide receivers a little bit more, play a little bit more aggressive in the pass game and in coverage, because these guys have the athletic ability to make up for it. Another thing that I will say is I did like to see Brandon Echols out there. He is my guy. I was on board. You can look at the videos with trading Bryce Hall while he still had some value to play Brandon Echols, because I thought Brandon Echols is on a better contract. He's just a tiny bit younger, and I think he has a higher upside than Bryce Hall. And let's talk about Ashton Davis with the game-winning interception to end the game. You love to see it, man. I did not want to cut Ashton Davis. I believe in Ashton Davis. He provides a great value on special teams. But to me, I really think that if he can put it all together, man, if he can figure it out, if he could just get the opportunity and in the coaching to get better at the safety position, that we might have a stud at safety with Ashton Davis. Now, I'm not totally ready to forgive him for all of the things that he did last year, but this is it's plays like this, it's things like this that I see and I go, this is why I'm not ready to give up on him, like a lot of fans are. Some miscues on the defense and coverage, and it almost seemed like the opposite of the Baltimore Ravens game. The Baltimore Ravens game was a spectacular defense and an absolutely atrocious special teams and offense, where today seemed like an absolutely kind of bad defense with a spectacular special teams and a good offense. You know, the offense was clicking. Mike LaFleur was calling up great plays. And the one thing that kept going through my mind the entire time is like, man, when Zach Wilson is back and we can get that 105-mile-an-hour fastball on some of these passes, this team is going to be scary, man. That's all I got today, man. I'm excited. It's a good week to be a Jets fan, to win this game. And we're finally going to get some positive, hopefully, positive media coverage on the New York Jets because we beat the freaking Brownies at home. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. If you haven't already, hit the like button and the subscribe button. And last but not least, go Jets.